What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Jonathan here with Rideshare Panel, and today we're going to be talking about 8 things that you absolutely need to know before you start driving for Amazon Flex. So the way I like to do this is I like to kind of jump into new rideshare programs not knowing what I'm doing and not watching any tutorials, and that way I can learn all of the basic mistakes that you might make when you're starting. So here's a solid 8 or 9 things that I learned after the first 2 weeks of driving for Amazon Flex. The first one and the most important thing, in my opinion, that you want to know is how to organize your packages. And so when you pick up your cart at the start of a block for an Amazon Flex block delivery, you get a little, usually blue, sometimes white sheet that looks like this. And that's on the cart with all of your packages. So on that sheet, it tells you at the very bottom how many total packages that you get. It says 48 here, so after I scan in all my packages, I want to double check and make sure that I actually have 48 packages. And then it also tells me about the different zones that I'm going to be delivering to, and those are the different neighborhoods. The zones are right here, and as you can see, the first zone that I have is E11.1D. And so I'm going to organize my packages accordingly. Everything that's in that zone for E11.1D, I want to put in my front seat because I'm going to be going there first. So as you can see over here in my front seat, my first package is just like that, E11.1D, and everything else in this front seat is specifically going towards that zone, and then as I get further back in the car, the zones get further away. So the second thing that you need to know is that you are going to want to track all your own mileages while you're driving for Amazon Flex. Unlike Lyft or Uber, there is no mileage tracking feature in the app built in, so you're going to need a separate app for that. I personally use QuickBooks Self-Employed because I use them for all of my taxes, but there's a lot of other free apps that you can look just by typing in mileage tracker app in the App Store and downloading your own. Assuming that you've accounted for all your mileages while you're driving for Amazon Flex, then you can use the standard deduction in 2018, which is about 55 cents per mile, and use that, multiply that by the total miles driven while using the app to kind of find out what your standard deduction for mileage is. And most tax professionals recommend that you use that rate as opposed to just keeping track of all your gas expenses and wear and tear yourself. They say that that's advantageous. And that leads to the next thing. You're gonna have to pay all your 1099 taxes at the end of the year. And so if you've ever driven for any other sort of rideshare company, you know how this goes. I'm not gonna go too deep into it because you probably know the gist of it. But just think about budgeting 25 to 30% of all your earnings for taxes at the end of the year, and make sure that you have either QuickBooks Self-Employed or that you have enough money saved up to pay a tax professional a few $100 to do that for you. Use the help feature in the Amazon Flex app whenever you have any questions while you're driving. Honestly, the best thing about Amazon Flex, in my opinion, is how good their support is. It's significantly better than support that I get for Lyft, Uber, especially DoorDash, which is just terrible. So the Amazon Flex app, in the top right-hand screen, you can just click help and then ask for Amazon Flex to reach out and call you. It usually takes less than a minute to get a hold of them, and they can literally help you through anything, and they can do it very quickly. It's going to make the process a lot easier for you during the first week or so, and it's going to help you resolve any problems that might come up. When you drop off a package, make sure to take a photo of that package and then knock on the front door. You kind of have an option to say that you left the package with someone that lives there, or you left it at the front door or side door. You have a few different options. I always go for leaving it at the front door and then taking a picture. That way there's verified evidence that I left the package there. There have been issues for people getting deactivated from Amazon Flex and not really knowing why. And this is just one way to kind of document everything that you're doing and to make sure that Amazon knows that you are delivering packages. And it's really just the best way to create that proof that you've been delivering everything. Make sure that you check in immediately when you're arriving at the start location for a block. I've done this once and I actually almost missed a block because of this. So I showed up only a minute late, and there was parking issues when I got there, and instead of kind of checking in, saying that I had arrived in the app and then scanning in my code, I went and was talking to the lady who was helping people find parking, and this led me to be about 5 minutes late when I actually parked and was ready to scan in and start my block. And I had to go through a whole bunch of extra steps and get some help to make sure that my block was kind of refreshed and got regenerated, because the app almost pushed me off of it just for not checking in right away. So make sure you do that immediately. When you're delivering and you get to a stop, you might see that there's multiple packages. Now sometimes the Amazon Flex app kind of bundles multiple stops that are really close together into one stop. And tells you that they're all the same place, but you need to make sure that when you have those multiple packages on the same stop that you check those individual addresses. They might just be right next door to each other or right across the street. Make sure that you get those packages to the actual address that's on them, because that's one thing that customers can get upset about, is if you're delivering packages to their neighbor and marking it as delivering it to their address can create confusion, and it could potentially lead to you getting deactivated. So sometimes you'll pick up a block that's kind of far away from where your location is. I live in Seattle, and I pick up a lot of blocks in Everett just because that warehouse does a ton of volume, so there's a lot more shifts that are available to pick up. And one key here to kind of maximize your earnings while you're driving up to that location is to use the destination filter on either Lyft or Uber. I like to use Lyft and kind of pick up a ride while you're headed up that way to kind of make some money while you're driving, instead of just burning that cost of gas mileage to get up there. And I'll leave a link down below if you want to sign up for Lyft using my promo code and get, that extra referral bonus for signing up. The last tip here is kind of a gimme, and that is to make sure that you have a full charge on your phone before you start the block. The Amazon Flex app does burn through a lot of battery power, so make sure that your phone is charged and that all your other apps are closed out, because if your phone does die when you're in the middle of a block, it's possible that the app won't remember the last 1 or 2 deliveries that you've made, and you'll have to kind of call into support and get them to work through that and make sure that they've checked that off in the app. So just save yourself the hassle, make sure that you have a full charge and that you have a phone charger in your car so you can charge it as you go.